swinging, gang, and today I'm gonna let you know how you can use a part about this small to extend the life of your engine by 2 to 3 times. Stick around. Alright, gang, this is my screw what BMW did to my engine. This is how I'm gonna fix it kit. And it's gonna be a oil cooler valve, a lower pressure radiator cap, and a lower temperature thermostat. And this kit altogether, guys, will literally, all jokes aside, double or maybe even triple the life of your engine, meaning the seals, oil consumption. I mean, keeping your engine cool is the best thing you can do. And I'm gonna go over this with you guys. This piece here, it's CNC machined out of titanium, and it's 2 different places you can buy this from, guys. I'm gonna leave you the link for both places. And when you change your oil, I'm gonna put a couple of pictures up on where this piece is located. It's so easy to do. You can do it with an oil change. You can swap this out, guys. It's super easy, very easy. You're gonna want to do this because what this does is it opens up the passageway to your oil cooler completely, you know. So it's gonna take about a couple minutes, 3 to 4 extra minutes for your oil to totally heat up. But when it does, it's gonna stay cooler, guys, because it's free flow to the oil cooler and it's not dependent on the thermostat on how much oil to release and when to release the oil to the oil cooler. This is gonna keep that oil flowing to the oil cooler 24/7, wide open, guys. Next, I'm gonna do this one last. Next is and this part number here, guys, is for any V8, for the any N63, S63, N63TU, S63TU from BMW. This will fit. And this is actually my old thermostat. I already put my new thermostat in, gang. This is the old one, so it's kind of dirty. And you can see the part number. It say BMW part number on there, and I guess it's made by Weller or whoever. Yeah, but everyone says, oh, the thermostat isn't worth changing because of this, that. Trust me, I'm proof the thermostat is worth changing. And I'm going to show you why everybody says the thermostat isn't worth changing. Well, why most people says it's not worth changing and they don't see a result when they change it. And that's because of this, guys. If you don't know by now, I'm going to tell you. This gauge over here, that's not a water temperature gauge. Down there over to the far right. And if you still think that's a water temperature gauge and you own a BMW, you need to sell it. Simple as that. That's an oil temperature gauge. I showed you guys on another video how to get in the secret menu by holding down this button and putting in the last 7 digits of your VIN number to get in the dealer menu to get the water temperature gauge to pop up. You know, and if you've never seen that, I'm gonna leave a link for it down in the description. Yeah, but I'm gonna get to this engine in a minute after I finish going over these parts. So definitely go with this thermostat and this oil cooler and combat, and then you can definitely combat your heating issues with these engines, because every BMW runs hot for emissions and MPG. This is the second part here. And if you have an X5, X6, F5, X5M, X6M, the V8s, the V6s are already gonna come with the 1.4 bar. But if you don't, this is the part number you need when you swap the thermostat. This is my old 2.0 bar thermostat, and what this does by switching it to a lower pressure thermostat cap, I'm gonna show you guys here. This is my new, not thermostat, reservoir cap. See, this one says 1.4. If I can get the light off of it. Well, there it is. You can see it better there. 1.4 bar. You know, and I'm gonna also let you guys know what I did with that. It looks a little light, but it's a little cooling in there, just enough. But I'm gonna let you know, guys, know exactly what I did. But what this does is when your engine heats up, the water heats up, the pressure increases because the water's heating up. This cap releases the pressure at 1.4 bar instead of 2.2 bar, pretty much, by using this cap. So it releases that pressure, which in turn cools down the engine even more by releasing that pressure out of there, guys. It keeps the engine even cooler, and there's no reason for me to have a 2 bar radiator overflow cap or radiator reservoir cap if I don't even have that type of thermostat anymore. So that's another thing you can do, guys. But what I did do, and I'm gonna make a video for, is here in the air to water intercooler, I'm running distilled water and water wetter with, I think, 10% coolant, if that, maybe 5 to 10% coolant, guys. And that way, any bubbles in the system attached to the walls of the intercoolers, the water wetter helps minimize those bubbles that sit on the surface of the metal, and the water is able to do its job more efficiently by running alongside that metal and pulling heat from it in the air to water intercoolers. I also did the same thing in the radiator. When I had the radiator, when I had the engine thermostat replaced, guys, you can see I'm running a full bottle of water wetter. Whatever coolant was left in the engine after pulling the bottom radiator hose, and I'm running a distilled water mix in there, guys, with also reverse osmosis water. And the reason I ran distilled and reverse osmosis water, guys, is because distilled water is actually kind of, it's not really harmful for your coolant system, but reverse osmosis water is a lot better because it doesn't need any of the minerals and things that distilled water needs to come back to its natural pH, because distilled water has all of those minerals and stuff removed, and reverse osmosis water doesn't have any of the calcium and stuff like that that actually rust out and corrodes your system. It has other minerals and stuff that's not bad for the system, you know, like it's a full list of them on Water Wetter's website, but reverse osmosis water doesn't have those things that usually harm the system. So you can use reverse osmosis water or distilled water. And when you're using Water Wetter on their website, they actually let you know that you can use tap water if you wanted to, which I wouldn't recommend you use without Water Wetter, but you can definitely use tap water with it because it's that powerful. You can use tap water with it, guys. So since I haven't put this in yet, obviously, because it's still here. So I have one for the M6 and I have one for the X6M. But the M6 also has a 1.4 bar and a 90 degrees Celsius thermostat also, and its water temperatures are way cooler. And that thermostat does such a good job at cooling the engine down with the water. It actually cools the oil temperature down too. Now that's a good cooling upgrade when you could actually do both. But for right now, my temperature on my oil usually runs, I think it like when I sit the truck down and let it cool in sport mode, which opens up all of the cooling passages, it actually sits a little below this dot. But now I can ride around without being in sport mode, and it actually sits right around the back of that dot, this first dot, between the 160 and the 250 degree Fahrenheit. Which is a big difference. And this isn't a water temp gauge, guys. This is the oil temperature gauge. And I did a water cooling mod, not an oil cooling mod. And it's making the oil cooler. And for anybody who says that, the oil needs to reach a certain temperature to burn off impurities and water, guys, water evaporates at room temperature. Imagine how hot it is in that oil in the crankcase. So don't listen to anybody who says that. So this, I'm gonna leave the link for all of these parts, guys. So if you want to do this, you can do it. And I'm also put up the video of me flushing the system of my air to water intercooler, so you guys can see how to do that if you want to run water and water weather mix in your intercooler, guys, to get some cooler temps, especially if you're in the hotter climates, up in the hotter states. Well, down in the hotter states, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, you know, all the way across to California, guys. So yeah, this is going to be the end of this video, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribed, thank you guys for coming back. Auto Lust out.